All right, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 50 of Show Choir Nation. If you're watching us live, thank you for bearing with us through some technical difficulties. I know this is about 15 minutes later than we wanted to be going, but this is a big episode. We're halfway to a century, and if you're here, thank you so much. That means you found out about us some way, either on YouTube or if the producer ever gets around to posting this on Spotify, we'll see. But thank you so much for being here. If you want to follow along with the show, subscribe on YouTube, follow the show on Spotify. You hear that notification bell right there? That is your sign to subscribe. Sometimes you just get a fortuitous bell in the middle of your episode. Ethan, we had Show Choir Nationals this past weekend.
Yeah, and lucky for you, you got to be in attendance. I mean, love seeing the amount of our contributors that were able to go to Show Choir Nationals this year. That was a super cool picture you guys all took together. And it's not contributors all just from one region either. It was quite literally from across the board. It wasn't like, oh, all the closer states, it was pretty across the board. So that was super cool to see. And yeah, some amazing show choir took place, especially on that first day with the women's. I know that was a fantastic event that got put on. And I honestly had to mute whatever group chats I'm in because I was like, guys, it's only Thursday or Friday. I'm like, I can't early, man. I'm working right now. I'm working. But yeah, it was super cool to see how many people were excited about show choir and watching show choir and tuning in to nationals. And yeah, I feel like it's just getting better and better every single year in terms of like excitement and people getting really into it. Especially in a field like this where truly like almost anything could happen. So Will, I'll let you take it away since you got to be our boots on the ground. And then you had some fun at the Opry, I'm guessing.
I did. As a bit of a country music fan myself, the Grand Ole Opry is right up there on lists of venues that I could choose to see a concert at. And unfortunately, adulting stuff took me away from watching Thursday night's portion. Shout out Martin's Barbecue for being my later evening food in Nashville. The Belmont Ave location was just on point, but also shout out the 11 seeds for just absolutely ruining everybody's brackets this year, as I found out on Thursday night. But yeah, I walked in Friday morning and sat down in the balcony middle section, and I thought to myself, I think it usually costs a lot more than $30 to get this seat at the Grand Ole Opry. And even if nothing else happened, I was just going to enjoy sitting in a phenomenal location in the Grand Ole Opry, surrounded by a bunch of our contributors, surrounded by the guys from the warm-up room. There were just show choir people around. There were like several Missouri directors that were in that section. Smith Cotton's Avery Mather, Joplin's McCade Gordon, soon-to-be Joplin's Jabin Parnell, freelance choreographer Zachary Pettit. Just a lot of folks who were just Ohio choreographer Zach Triscari was chilling on Friday. So, there were just a lot of folks there, and it was a great environment. But Thursday night, the women's division just kind of following along with those results in not placing. So outside of the top three, North Central Desk Hands, Homewood Nexus, and Carroll Select Sound. Fourth place with Best Band, Loveland Allure. Third place, Fisher Sound. Second place, Brownsburg, Starlight Voices. And first place with vocals and choreo, Center Grove. The Debtones and Sound tied 2 weeks ago. Center Grove came out on top of that. Brownsburg with probably their best result of the season in second. And then also Loveland picking up that band caption. Always a good one to get. Show Choir Nationals as well. Unfortunately, I can't say too much more about it because I wasn't there. I will say, I think we need to get in the habit of announcing all places at a division this deep, because the week before I was at Wheaton and it was another 7 groups in the single gender division, 7 very capable groups. And they started with 7th and they worked their way all the way up. And shout out to Waubonsie Valley residents, because when you were announced in 7th, like it was a well-earned 7th. And at this, we only announced the top 3. And then we learned later on that Loveland Allure was 4th. But I'm still like this 5 could have really gone any way between North Central, Homewood, and Carroll. So I think contest organizers, we need to reward groups, especially in big divisions like this, by announcing placements publicly. Yeah. But the mixed prelims on Friday. This is probably when you had to mute the group chat, because there were 6 of us there, and there were, I think, at least one more of us on the stream, and it was just rolling. And so for Friday's portion, I want to touch on the groups that did not make finals. 12th place, South Lake Carroll, the SLC, with the Best Soloist Award. 11th place, Donaldson Christian Academy Legacy with the Best Crew Award. 10th place, Glenwood Titan Fever. 9th place, Finley First Edition with Best Band and Best Performer Award. 8th place, Fishers Electrum. And 7th place, Loveland by Request, with Sean Miller winning the Best Director Award. Friday was a big day of show choir for me. Obviously, 12 groups.
Yeah.
But got to see South Lake, which was my first Texas group that I had seen live. Got to see Donaldson, which was my first Tennessee high school group live. I saw Lake Forest at Auburn a few weeks ago. It was my first time seeing Finley live. So just a lot going on there. Technically my first Fishers competition show live, although I did sneak in for a little bit of their preview show this past summer. But it was nationals, and the 12th place show is a very solid 12. Like, you put that 12 in any other competition, and it's certainly not the 12, right? But that's why it's nationals. Paxton Mers robbed of the Best Soloist Award. I'm just kidding, but golly, like, that's how deep of a field it was, where it's like, oh man, like, an insane talent, like friend of the show, Paxton Mers, did not get a Best Soloist Award. But that's just how it is. And what I can say is that it was razor thin between 4th and 10th, all the way down. And like we were saying last week, we're like, oh, like 3 to 9 is probably going to be a bit of a bloodbath, or 4 to 9 is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. Well, it wound up being 4 to 10 was an absolute bloodbath. Judges ranking groups all over the place. And that's just how it is. I will say, I had Finley in my finals, and I had Fishers in my finals. And I had 2 groups that were in finals, not in my finals. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but just a big non-finals field, probably the best non-finals field you'll see all year. Maybe only are rivaled by a competition that we'll talk about later in this episode. But Ethan, any thoughts about the mixed groups that did not make finals?
Some people just couldn't make it. It is such a bummer. However, it has to feel somewhat. Not making finals does hurt. I mean, it hurts no matter what. However, at least you missed finals with like 4 other high caliber groups. Like, if you were 1 or 2 groups that didn't make it, that of course stings a little bit. You know, that my mind goes to like probably like Chesterton last year when Sweens was, or Sweens and maybe one other group were the only ones who didn't make finals, or whatever it was. However, here when you have, you know, 4 other choirs who are very, very high caliber, and you got to miss out with them, I mean, it doesn't sting as much. I know all of these groups were gunning for it. It had to be an unbelievable day. I mean, like, just from hearing you guys talk about it, it's just unbelievable on, you know, the Grand Ole Opry stage. It doesn't get better than that. And it's just seeing groups with different tastes from all across the country. I am with it being a nationals field, I am a little sour, only because one of the Ohio groups didn't make the cut. Like, that's the one thing I wanted, just so we could have like representation of kind of from across the board. And that includes Texas as well, even though I know that they were kind of a long shot to make it, Carroll Senior. And I was same with Tennessee, I guess, was Donaldson Christian. But it was kind of like, you know, yeah, you thought maybe one of the Ohio groups would sneak in. It ended up not being that way. But, you know, just an insane competition. And if you miss finals at nationals, you could still you can't hang your head on that. So,
and this is why, like, we make predictions, and even then we say, like, it's all kind of a moot point until we see the groups on stage. And then I saw the groups on stage, and I made my list, and it was different than other people's lists around me. Oh, yeah. And at the end of prelims, I looked at Loveland Parent dead in the eye and said, look, like, I had you in 9th. Like, I'm sorry, but it was just an incredible day of competition. And Loveland wound up being 7th, and a majority of the judges wound up putting Loveland in finals. But, like, I had Finley in 4th, and Finley was 9th. And, you know, I had Grenada out of my personal finals. Grenada made it in finals. And so it was just, and again, like, the judges' ballots were all over the board too. And that's just the caliber of competition that nationals brings out. And it's situated in a phenomenal venue at a very good time in the
Yeah.
season. So,
And there's something beautiful about all these choirs sharing the same stage. Like that's something I would always tell people. It's like, hey, yes, you're going up against, amazing choirs, and I know a lot of people look up to Center Grove Sound System as one of the best. It's like, but guess what? End of the day, you guys get the same stage, you guys get the same chance to perform for all these people and put on an amazing show. And I know the people who didn't make finals put on amazing shows. I have not seen a video. I don't need to see a video. I know that these are high caliber shows, especially just like you said at this point in the year.
For sure. And before we get to the finals results, I do want to take a moment to shout out the soloist caption award winners from Center Grove Sound System, Ethan Wood, both prelims and finals. For prelims from Home of the Network, Shelby Parks. And then for finals from Center Grove, Kaylee Whitaker. And then from Grenada in prelims, Braylee Carnathan. All the shows are a bit of a blur to me right now, but every time I saw someone walk front and center stage to sing a solo at the middle mic and they stepped into that circle.
Oh, the circle.
I'm like, you can now add your name to the list of people that have sung in that circle. And that is, historically speaking, a list with a lot of people, but per capita, it is one of the most talented lists in the world.
Yeah.
Because they just don't let anybody on the Grand Ole Opry stage. So to be able to add your name to that list of incredible vocalists that have performed, just absolutely amazing. The finals results in 6th place Grenada Visions, in 5th place Carol Magic, in 4th place Brownsburg Spotlight Singers and Company, in 3rd place Home of the Network, in 2nd place North Central Counterpoints, in 1st place Center Grove Sound System. Nothing changed from prelims to finals, and I did not think that was going to be the case, but there were people around me who correctly said, I don't think anything is going to happen. And it was weird because the shows were not the same, but everybody elevated that same bit that on the whole, because again, the judges' ballots from 3rd on down in finals, absolute mess. I believe there were multiple groups with 3rd place votes. And it was just all over the board. But somehow in the end, everybody's show improved just enough to keep them in the same place.
Yeah.
What do you have to think about the results?
Yes. I mean, that's just a testament to these choirs. I mean, amazing choirs on hand here. Making the finals round, you know that some of them were just excited to just be a part of such a stacked finals field. And then they went in there and they said, all right, how can we be a better choir from this? How can we improve? And clearly a bunch of them did that. It just so happens to be every single choir did that. It's just an unbelievable field. I know when we originally made our predictions, you sent me in the right direction with the North Central pick. Thank you, William. I'll say it. Thank you, William.
You're welcome.
You talked me into it, and I was like, you know what? I think you're right. North Central has the pipes. But something that's a little more obvious or a little more elephant in the room type of thing, for me and you at least, is we both let Brownsburg out of our finals. And they ended up getting a top 4 placement in an outstanding competition. And this is coming after, going to a competition where they were disqualified, and we won't get into all that. But it's just not the cleanest year for Brownsburg. However, they bought in and they ended up putting on an amazing performance that you bared witness to. And they ended up getting a top 4 spot at a competition where I know a lot of people left them out of their top 6. So I just have to give all the love to Brownsburg. When I think of nationals, I think back to, a few years ago where they unfortunately just didn't get the opportunity to perform in finals, even though the score said they did. It's just one of those things where it's like, good for Brownsburg. They deserve this. They put on an amazing show, as you probably know, William, you were there. And to put a top 4 placement on, to put a bow on your year, I mean, that's almost cinema. So congratulations to Spotlight Seniors and Company, and of course the rest of the field. I thought a lot of people were going to like Carol Magic from this panel, and they liked them enough to make finals. So that's kind of where I had them. Grenada.
Two judges had Carol in 3rd at the end of finals.
See, that's what I'm saying. I had a feeling.
And that's just how crazy it was that you can get 2 3rd place votes. And why not 5th?
I had a feeling people would like them. I had a feeling. And then Grenada, I mean, this was one that you and I were both kind of iffy on coming in. I had them, I believe, out of finals. I don't remember, but I think I had them out of finals. You had them in. You saw them live, and we both agreed that, like, on paper, they're such a hard choir to predict. You just truly don't know what it's like stacking up against everyone else. You saw them live. You made the right call putting them into finals. So I'm happy that Grenada was able to get in here, especially how tight it must have been between, 6th and 7th. It had to be really, really, really close. Homewood putting on for the South, getting a top 3 placement. I know a lot of people thought that, they could have been 2 or, in some cases, maybe even 1. However, I think Center Grove and North Central just saying their butts off. I think that's what happened here. And I mean, Center Grove is just one of the best right now, and they're hard to beat. So just congratulations to all the choirs here who made finals. Such an accomplishment to make finals at a competition like this. Of course, having a two-day, well, for some of them, three-day event in Nashville had to be fun. I hope they had fun at the hoedown. I hope they had fun at all that extra stuff they do, all the mixers and whatever, and hope they maybe got some Hattie B's chicken in the end of it. So congratulations to all these choirs.
Well, your boy may have gotten some Prince's chicken that was a little too spicy for his britches, or a little too hot for his britches, and your boy may have paid for that on Sunday morning.
Oh,
but no, just quick thoughts on all the groups. Grenada, man, I was seriously doubting if they were going to make finals because I saw that show in prelims. I'm like, that's not as good as it was 3 weeks ago. But then in that finals run, stuff clicked, and I got the same feeling that I got watching their Truman show a year ago. Carol. You know what? I saw the show at Chesterton. I'm like, the vocal technique is just going to have to improve if they want to make finals in a field this deep. And it did. They were there. They had podium votes. I saw one of their families on Broadway Saturday afternoon after the competition. Shout out. And yeah, it's just, one of those shows that a lot of people are going to remember for a long, long time. Oh, yeah. Brownsburg, at Kenton, people are like, well, yeah, but they beat Solon in prelims. And Solon's like one of the top 3 groups in Ohio this year. And then, they lost to Fishers, which I think kind of threw a lot of people off of their tail. Mm-hmm. And then they won an Avon Vocal Invitational that didn't have any other like top 10 Indiana groups there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were really unsure. And they came out and they sang, and I had Brownsburg in my provisional finals. And, was there a jump scare dubstep dance break in the closer? Sure. I think we could have – I don't know why the dubstep was exactly there, but it was there. And it certainly, if I was not paying attention before, it made me pay attention to the dubstep and everything after that in the closer. But and Homewood in third, again, like just carrying the vanguard for kind of the Southern groups that travel this year and putting up a really respectable podium. And North Central in second. I think that's only the third time this year that my jaw has been on the floor and been unable to be picked up. When they busted out Thrift Shop, I was like, what is, like, hold me back. Like this man is doing bat flips on the Grand Ole Opry stage. And it was incredible. And Center Grove, no doubt. No, like opening quarter and prelims, no doubt. It was, some people are like, oh, like I would really like to see an undefeated streak come to an end. Look, I think they have an incredibly ethical undefeated streak going right now. They've gone to show choir nationals twice, in deep fields, as part of this undefeated streak. And I saw their show in 24, and I saw their show in 25, and I saw their show in 26, and I can personally attest, like, it can go on as long as they're going to keep doing shows like this, because I know North Central, like, they're not the number 2 group in Indiana, right? But they were generally considered the number 5 for most of the season this year.
Yeah.
And North Central took second, and Center Grove very clearly outpaced them. So in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of a lot of judges, I don't think the captions were really much of a decision, nor was the first place vote much of a decision either. I think they got straight ones in finals and in prelims as well. So it was a great time. And I certainly enjoyed my Nashvilling, taking a walk down Broadway, going to some barbecue joints, enjoying being called sir all weekend, which doesn't happen sometimes in the Midwest. And at my age in life, I don't think I deserve to be called a sir, but I enjoy it anyways when it happens. And it was just a really, really good weekend, but I slept for like 9 hours on Sunday night, and it was a very restful, rechargeful sleep.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, Nashville could kick your behind if you're not ready for it. Let alone with all the show choir.
I was not ready for it. I left for Nashville 3.5 hours later than I wanted to, and I was dehydrated, and it was 86 degrees in the middle of March. And by the time Friday at like 7 p.m. rolls around, I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. Like, I don't even want to do anything else that's fun. But anyways, that was Nationals, another fantastic field. Only about 3 months until we start speculating who's going to Nationals next year. So let's start the countdown clock, 90 days, and we'll have Nationals 2027 predictions. We'll go from Nationals to states. We'll cover a few state competitions to round out our recap section here. The West Virginia State Show Choir contest in Clarksburg this past weekend. In the championship mixed division, first place Hurricane, second place Robert C. Byrd, third place Winfield, fourth place Polka, fifth place Huntington. In festival mixed, first place Musselman, second place Spring Mills, and third place Grafton. In the women's division, first place Winfield, second place Hurricane. And in the middle school division, first place St. Joseph, second place Martinsburg South, third place Liberty, no placement Spring Mills, and Lincoln. So let's just start at championship mixed. Hurricane red hot, their 10th state title in a row, including being undefeated under the current tenure of director Joseph Kincaid.
Unbelievable number. I mean, yes, they are like the choir in West Virginia. However, that's still an outstanding number. 11 in a row, you said. That's just an unbelievable number. Unbelievable. When you can do anything, well, I think 5 times in a row, that you really do have a special program. And I think Hurricane has always been that special program. And this is a choir that kind of had not the greatest start to their season. It kind of left a lot of people questioning where will they stand when they try to wrap things up. They started their season off at kind of a stacked Beaver Creek this season, where they lost to Solon, Noblesville, Loveland, and Piqua, and they ended up with a fifth place spot, only beating Loveland Allure. So a lot of people kind of were speculating where they would go from there. They rattled off 2 wins at Capital City and Grove City, and then they got second at Cosby with the best vocals and best band capture, losing the South competitor Pedal. But bouncing back with their 11th state in a row has to feel so good. I don't know if they hang state banners in their choir room or as a road sign. I don't know how they do it in West Virginia. However, they have to be super, super proud, especially cleaning out the captions the way they did. It's a group effort, and that is pretty much almost a clean, it is a sweep, but a clean sweep. It's pretty close to that. So congratulations to Hurricane. Congratulations to Robert C. Byrd. I mean, a lot of people kind of thought maybe Winfield had it. Winfield's kind of had a weird year for their standards. They only had 1 win in their division this year, I believe. Let me check that really quick. Yeah, only 1 win in their division this year. They've gone up against solid competition, but that's not the Winfield like I think of from a few years ago. Robert C. Byrd, though, is an outstanding choir. Very, very deserving of a second place. This is just a great competition, and amazing judging panel. So I'm happy that states got to get kind of rounded as a whole in the show choir verse. So congratulations to Hurricane on, I can't believe it, 11 in a row. Someone's got to challenge them. Someone's got to knock them off.
So I will say Winfield had a couple more divisional wins that just got feeding into overall finals. So I believe they have 3 division wins on the year. But a couple of hits from the festival mixed division as well. Spring Mills Flight had 9 performers on stage, 9, Wolf. And they still wound up placing second in division. And last week I'm on this show yapping about Herscher Class Act is the best 15-person show I've ever seen in my life. Well, golly, I don't think States was live streamed. Let me double check here. It was. Yeah. Maybe I'll see the best 9-person show in my life with Spring Mills if I get around to watching them at some point over the off season. Also Grafton, that was the last competition for their longtime director. So it's a long show choir legacy at Grafton. I think they've been around for 52 seasons, and I don't think their director's been there for all of that, but still definitely a long time. And Ethan, just one other thing I want to note here.
Yeah.
The championship mixed division was tied for the largest division at this competition alongside the middle school division. So I think that's a really encouraging sign
Yes.
to see, including a first-year program in the Liberty Lyrics and another first-year program with Spring Mills, just to see show choir become a bigger and better thing in West Virginia.
Yeah, especially with a caption split like that. That only means these groups are very, very talented and they're very equal, which is kind of what I love to see. I mean, winning was best choreography, best band, and best costume, St. Joseph Genesis. And then he looked at Martinsburg South, winning best vocals, best show design, best set, best bass soloist, best treble soloist. However, they just couldn't get over the hump. Had to be close. I love when middle school competitions are like this and they're neck and neck. I love that for the future of show choir, especially in West Virginia.
So a little hit for our Midwestern listeners, St. Joseph Genesis second-year program in Martinsburg, directed by Annie Hales. And if that name sounds familiar, well, it's because there's relation to former Sioux City East director Tom Hales. So a little bit of Midwest flair in that program as well. We'll move on to a different set of states, and that is the Indiana State School Music Association state contest. They had two contests, the large school contest and the small school contest. So at the large school contest, the mixed division winner was the Avon Accents, and the women's winner was Plainfield Femme Fatale. Avon Accents, 3 wins in 6 tries this season, and Plainfield Femme Fatale, they notched wins over Avon Attraction at this competition, the Zionsville Corlairs at the previous competition at, I believe, Fairfield. So a couple of groups that have really come on strong here to kind of end the season.
Yeah, I mean, just in a kind of a great just 2 great programs going at each other to end their seasons, especially at an ISSMA competition. You never know what kind of competition you're going to get there. I'm glad to see Avon and Plainfield going at each other like this. Castle being right behind them was best band, Nice Sensations in the mixed. Just some really, really, really good small mix show choirs in the state of Indiana. Especially from Avon, who had an unbelievable year this year, taking down some giants along the way to this Indiana's large school final. So seeing in the trouble, Plainfield getting a clean sweep against Avon Attraction, who is a great choir, is just great signs for things to come. And I hope that they can carry it on forward to the next year. That ends their season with 3 wins in the Trouble division, which is unbelievable. And then their other 2 placements are third places. So congratulations to them on ending a very, very successful year.
And over at the Indiana State School Music Association small school finals, the mixed winner was Huntington North Varsity Singers, and the women's winner was Pendleton Emerald Suites. Huntington North, that is their 3rd overall grand championship this year. And Pendleton Heights Emerald Suites, a really solid 7 competition season for them. Of those 7 competitions, they won their division 5 times. So a 5-7 season for Pendleton Heights.
Yeah, that is just an insane number. Just looking at it, I mean, it's so deserved. And they didn't shy away from competition either. Just while I'm quickly glancing at this, like they had a very, very successful year against very strong choirs. Emerald Suites, that is. Beating good groups like Northridge here and Huntington North, and I love maybe because we just talked about it. If ISSMA small school finals is releasing all these groups like final placements, I think nationals can as well.
Well, the tough part about this is that ISSMA only announces top 4, and you have to scrounge choir's social medias for the rest of the
okay.
placements.
So my bad. I should have
said also, but ISSMA
also
just announce all of them, please. ISSMA, like I know there are changes of the works, maybe not for next year, but for 2028.
Yeah.
Write it in the MC script. Announce all 9 placements. Like enough of announcing 5 state finalists. We know they're state finalists because they performed at this competition. That is already known knowledge. So this is my second impassioned plea of the episode to please reward groups in deep divisions by telling everybody what their result was.
Like I just don't. We're going on a little rant now, but like I just don't understand keeping people in the dark. I don't understand that, especially at like a national competition or states. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to know if we go to a competition that we ended up being the 15th best school there. Like I don't want to wait until my director might tell me after the performance or after awards, or I have to wait 2 days until school, or whatever. I feel like everyone should rant time. I feel like everyone should be able to know the scores. And honestly, I'm slowly but surely getting on the train where I think they should announce scores out loud to everybody. I'm kind of getting there.
Do we have a marching band alum on the show?
No.
Is he announcing a show choir?
I'm kind of getting there. I'm kind of getting there.
We're announcing scores, and
I think we should. Like with 400 and whatever point, I'm making a random number. Like was 426 points, and then third place, Pendleton. I'm just saying random things, but I feel like we should almost know how close it is. And as spectators who go and pay money and sit there all day and want to root on our peers or whatever, it's just I feel like the public should get to know. And plus, I mean, everyone's scrounging for scores anyway nowadays.
And here's the thing,
I don't know, but
if we're able to piece together stuff from the choir's social medias, because they all wind up posting their result anyways, like it's going to be public knowledge. So why don't we just give them credit, give them their round of applause for their well-earned placements? Like, because there's not a single choir there that didn't earn what they did. And it's ISSMA, so it's almost guaranteed that some of these placements were separated by like 0.3 of a point, because they use that 100-point rubric. And so when there's only 100 points to deal with, like, things get crunchy really fast.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be super cool to, I don't know. We might. It's the end of the season.
Let's just start with giving all the placements first.
Yes.
Let's don't worry about the scores. Let's start with just giving all the placements. That's all I could ask for. Maybe scores is a few years down the line. But yeah, I mean, this is just, huge for Huntington North. I mean, Pendleton Heights, Pendletons are just such a strong choir. I know Pendleton Heights, they were looking for the sweep, overall with the treble in the mix, didn't come to fruition. However, getting first and second is not too bad.
All right. Well, we are going to end rant time. That is enough of our rant.
Yeah.
I did see that we had a channel with a racing name in the comments a little bit ago, so I'm going to circle back and show off my souvenir from Nationals. This is let me center it here. This is a Ty Majeski 2024 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship diecast. Those of you who know me know that racing is one of my hobbies, and I grew up 30 minutes from Ty Majeski. And so they had the Lionel diecast and train store in the Opry Mills Mall. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see if there's anything there that I like. And I like this. I watched 2024 championship race. I saw Ty Majeski win that thing, dadgummit. And now I have a souvenir of that. So shout out Ty Majeski. He's having a great season, the truck series this year.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. We're not going to go racing, but we are going to engage in some kind of sports ball-ish activity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the 7th annual Show Choir Madness. For those of you who are more recent followers of the site, Show Choir Madness was the first thing that Homeroom Show Choir, then operating under a previous name, ever did. Ethan, tell us the story of how Show Choir Madness essentially kicked off the entity known as Homeroom Show Choir.
No, yes, I was robbed. He
didn't hear his scores announced at prelim awards.
No, I know. I was robbed of a trip to nationals. I'm gonna be one of those COVID kids, back in 20, whatever. But no, I was robbed of nationals in 2020. We could have got the choreo caption against Los Alamitos, but hey, we'll never know. We'll never know. I'm kidding.
Them fighting words, man.
I think we did the Crucible show that year. It was an unbelievable show. But yeah, I mean, we were hoping to make some noise there. But
California Advanced Mix was on a bender that year. I don't think anyone was stopping them.
Hey, if you aren't going trying, then you shouldn't go.
Okay, fair. You were gonna try. I'll give you credit.
And that's my advice to anyone who goes up against a choir that they think is amazing. Whatever. But anyway, it's a lot of choirs' seasons got ended really, really early, really premature. Especially those in California. they maybe got one in. I don't remember, but
I feel like Brea Olinda's comp that year was madness.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull the results real quick.
Yeah, we might as well. But basically, yeah, it was just a little thing that I put together, especially with the basketball March Madness being canceled as well, to put on and kind of mix the two and put them together. It's not an original thought to do something like this. However, I wanted to put it on it, and once we put it on, it allowed our Twitter page, which was the only thing we had at the time, to get a following, and people truly did love it. And I brought it back every single year, and they wanted more and more and more. They wanted to add more choirs to it. There's even been people who wanted a single gender or treble of it or tier 2. I mean, if we had the time in the day, we definitely will maybe revisit that. I mean, it's always a conversation. However, while March Madness is here, we want to keep it going, keep the show choir madness alive, and since it's a staple of the site, I'm glad that we're able to keep doing it. And I mean, we couldn't do it without the people who engage in it, and and they do it the right way, and they show it love, and they vote for their choirs. So I'm glad we're able to keep it going. Do you have Brea Olinda results?
So it was actually Bonita Vista, but that entire month of February 2020, California Advanced Mix Show Choir was on one. So at Bonita Vista on February 15th, Advanced Mix won. First place with musicianship and showmanship, Brea Olinda Masquerade. In second place, American Leadership Academy Evolution. And in third place with Best Acapella, John Burroughs Powerhouse.
Oh, I remember this now. I remember this now.
2 weeks later at Chaparral.
Oh, man.
In first place with musicianship and showmanship, John Burroughs Powerhouse.
Yeah.
In second place, Brea Olinda Masquerade. And in third place, Burbank In Sync.
Oh, man. Yeah. It was wild.
It was, and like, that was Rick Luntz last season at ALA.
Yeah.
The Willards were still in charge at Brea. I mean, something crazy had to happen at Burbank that year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let me try to pull the Burbank results that year too. That's okay. I know like a lot of stuff got really bad because of COVID, but we were legitimately robbed of what was going to be like the best California Advanced Mixed Show Choir season, like pretty much of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, so at Burbank, the only California. Okay, so in Advanced Mixed, one, it was Los Al with Music and Show, Broken Arrow second, and Carlsbad in third. But that was a very legitimate Carlsbad year because Jesse Bullock was still at Carlsbad, and Jesse Bullock had them on the verge. He had Dan Scoville, a Burroughs band director, as their arranger. Mm-hmm. And I know we're way off in the weeds now, but Carlsbad, I know they're going to hop up to Advanced Mix this week, but Carlsbad was like this close to becoming the fifth California Advanced Mix 1 group, because at that point Brea had beaten both Burroughs and Burbank at that point in the season. So like
anything could happen.
We were about to have 5 California Advanced Mix 1 groups. And I guess technically we have 4 right now with JFK, but 5 like very, very legitimate, anyone's game California Advanced Mix 1 groups. I'm unzipping my sweater because this is just how passionate I am talking about it. But then like you look and like all these names that don't exist anymore, like Arcadia is competing at Burbank, and who else? Los Amigos and Saugus is still a mixed group, and over at Bonita Vista, there was somebody else. But anyways, yeah. And California 2020, it was going to be so good.
It was going to be so good.
We were robbed.
Yeah, maybe we have a what we were robbed of show.
Yeah, back to show choir
madness. What if show? We need to have a what if show.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Oh man.
Yeah, but back to show choir madness. We dropped the bracket. Seating is all basically kind of done loosely around our show choir rankings. So we don't try to miss anyone who's had a lot of success. However, they were rankings that didn't they aren't this week's rankings, so they're kind of a little bit fluid and things, and some choirs who might not be in the top 64 as of last week made it. So it's it's one of those things where it's just kind of a tough draw, and only 64 choirs can make the field, and it's just such a fun event, and I hope everyone votes on our blog. Right on the blog, we're doing a blog this year.
Yes, all voting will happen on the blog. It will not happen on
Yes,
Instagram. It will not happen on X. It
like
will
years
all
past.
happen on the blog.
Yeah. So, and then just to round out my little spiel of it, just a quick shout out to our madness, our past madness champions. In 2021, the inaugural one, Naperville North Entourage took the first one. In 2021, Loveland by Request. 22, Carmel the Ambassadors. 2023, Millard West West in the Groove. 2024, Noblesville NHS Seniors. And 2025, Carroll Magic took it last year. They are our reigning champion. And it's kind of crazy. We haven't had a repeat champion, I don't think. I don't think we've
No,
we have not had a repeat champion. So that's kind of a quick tell of who might win it this year. But who can Carroll become the first back-to-back champions? I mean, we'll see.
why don't we take a look at the bracket?
Let's do it. Why not?
All right. So we are going to pull up this year's 64 choir bracket because we don't do any of that play-in business. We're going to see select window. This is where things go interestingly sideways.
Which is, I mean, that's how we operate. So
yeah.
Well, in the East region, Chuck, I like. I can't believe Auburn didn't make the tournament. I don't think that they were awarded for tough schedule.
Auburn, they not only did they have a tough schedule, but they hosted one of the toughest events. So,
oh yeah.
All right, we are gonna go back, and here we go. Can you see it now?
Kind of. It's a little small. Is there a enlarge?
Full screen button? I don't know.
Enlarge button.
If
not,
I don't see one.
All right, yeah. So just starting off.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I mean, just rattle off. I mean, what do you see first? What jumps out at you? If you had like a few storylines that popped out to you, or matchups out the gate, or possible matchups down the line, what pops out to you, Will?
Golly, just the fact that I'm used to seeing brackets with 4 quadrants and not just 64 groups straight down.
I know, I agree.
Just the fact, and I say this every year, the fact that you see matchups that you would never ever see, the fact that you are getting Gretna East versus Daniel Hand in the first round, and then the winner of that gets to go against Johnston versus Midlothian, which is Iowa, Virginia, and then right under that you have Burbank and Neosho, which is California and Missouri, and then Solon and Auburn, and it just. Yeah, there's so much, but and then you kind of start to extrapolate some of what might go on, and you're like, okay, like if Carmel wins this, and then Carmel also wins this, and then LoSal wins this, and they also win this, then you get Carmel LoSal, and then that's a matchup that we've seen before.
Yeah,
and then things get really interesting. What stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, the first matchup that jumps off to me is the 32 and the 33, having Troy Buchanan Express go up against Waltham, who literally went up against each other last week. Like, that is a matchup that literally just happened. So, seeing that on the top of the bracket, yeah, and then guess what? One of them's going to have to go up against probably Lynn Mart's History Edition or Grand Island Northwest, who has such a big following across our platform. So, that's going to be a tough battle, I think. Scrolling down a little bit further, I think Zionsville versus Findlay will be a fun matchup on the bottom part of that quadrant. Those are 2 choirs who I feel like they are very similar in our following. I know the Indiana page will probably, gather up some more votes, and the rest of Indiana will probably try to push them over the edge. However, I know Ohio will do the same. What's another one that just jumps out at me that looks fun? What's another one that looks fun, EP? Oh, I would not be surprised. This is a fun one. I would not be surprised if Hastings Uncaged made a run at Cedar Grove Sound System. I would not be surprised because technically Hastings Uncaged is a 16 seed. technically a 16 seed. A 16-1 matchup where I know, Nebraska will be right behind them, and it'll be a fun matchup to see. And then if I just had to throw one more out there, I think. I mean, no, honestly, those bottom two, Noblesville NHS Seniors versus Davenport Central Seniors, that's going to be a real fun one to see who comes out of that. And then right out the gate after that, they're going to have to either go up against Wheaton North Flight or Petal. And I feel like that's going to be a really good matchup. Seeing we could get a Burbank, some fun ones. Like in the same quadrant, we have Innovation, Daniel Hand, Gretna East, Burbank, Clinton, and Wheaton North and Petal. Like that's an insane quadrant. In this quadrant, we have Center Grove that pops off the page to me. Ankeny Centennial, Carroll, the reigning champion, Franklin Central FC Seniors. So yeah, we could get a Franklin Central FC Seniors versus Center Grove in what would, I believe it's the last 16 on stage or whatever we want to call it this year. And then
let's call it the 16 on stage.
16 on stage, yeah. And then we, like you said, in this quadrant, we have Los Alamitos, Granite Revolution, Hastings, Carmel, Brandon Brio, Ankeny, Onalaska, North Central, Brownsburg, DePer, Avon, John Burrow. I mean, these are all choirs who have had success this year on a huge level. So that's going to be very interesting to see. And then, of course, the last one, Findlay, Zionsville, Urbandale, Hurricane, Waukee, Homewood, La Crosse, Marysville, Mount Zion, Westside, Troy Buchanan, Waltham, Grand Island Northwest, and Lenmar. I mean, these are all just fantastic groups, and I'm happy. It's gonna be exciting to see how this one turns out, because I think this one could get a little bit wacky in terms of who really makes a run, almost like real March Madness. Great comment. We have love to see your NIT matchups, tier 2 groups.
Or the groups dear.
Yeah.
We that's I don't think we're putting together an NIT bracket this year. Maybe next year. If we get like an extra 4 hours in the day, every day, to make more things happen.
Yeah, but definitely just be ready for those posts and be ready to vote. I mean, get all your friends on it, get your school in on it. I remember some years, like quite literally hearing like voices over the intercoms at schools being like, make sure you vote for our choir or whatever. And, or like news stations, like we've seen it all. It's unbelievable what these communities do for their choirs.
And that's the best part of it, is that it is simply a fan favorite vote. You don't have to feel obligated to vote for whoever because you like their show more, or that you think they're a better choir in terms of the placements or whatever. If you're watching this live on Tuesday night, that means that voting will go live at midnight tonight.
Cool.
Midnight tonight. And a change from previous years, we are going to do voting from midnight to 11:59 Central Time. So the voting for the first round will be Wednesday, March 25th. Second round voting Friday, March 27th. 16 on stage voting Sunday, March 29th. Excellent 8 voting Tuesday, March 31st. Fabulous 4 voting Thursday, April 2nd. And the championship voting Saturday, April 4th. There are no show choir competitions that day, as it is the day before Easter. And the winner will be announced on Monday, April 6th. So that was a good 20 minutes to talk about show choir madness, maybe a little bit less, but we're gonna see how it plays out. Best of luck to all 64 groups that are in the tournament this year. However, we've still got comps to talk about this upcoming weekend. The first of those is the Cypress Star Reflections. This one in California, the advanced mixed lineup. We've got some familiar faces from our previous segment: Brea Olinda Masquerade, Carlsbad Sound Express, Collective Hearts, and Pacifica Encore. Intermediate mixed, Golden Valley Melodies of Gold, John Burroughs Soundwaves, Martin Luther King Legacy, and Oceanside Soundwaves. In novice, Esperanza Reverberation, Heart and Soul, Johnny Rowland Infusion, Norco New Generation, and North Torrance Northern Lights. Ethan, we've got 4 choirs in advanced, and I think even our regional Western experts are like, we don't know who's going to win this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like doing my quick research on it. This is gonna be tight. This is gonna be tight, especially in the tier 1. It's gonna be a tight contest. Pacifica Encore was acquired. That kind of reaches out to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, they had a few years ago where they almost went like undefeated, or they went and had a few runs. I might be thinking of another choir. Oh no, yeah, it was last year. Okay, so yeah, they won 4 contests last year, and they dropped their last one at John Burroughs, getting to second place. I mean, this is a choir that is notoriously very strong in their division. However, they are coming off a 5th place at Esperanza, which is, you know, kind of shaky to me. You know, just on paper, trying to make a prediction or trying to make an educated guess on what might happen. However, I mean, my guess might not be that educated. End of the day, Collective Hearts. You know, this will be their 3rd competition, or no, yeah, this will be their 3rd competition under Sarah Anders. Gosh, golly.
Well, she's been there for several years.
Yeah, so I know. Oh, I meant this season. Okay. My bad. Yes, I meant this season. And yeah, I mean, this is a choir that sometimes even competes in tier 1. So you know, they have the numbers, and you know, it's gonna be a good battle for them as well. I really probably couldn't even give you a guess. However, if I wanted to give you a guess, I mean, the names that jump off of the paper: Carlsbad, Brio Linda. It's gonna be a tough battle. If I just had to have some fun with it, I'm gonna go. Let me go Carlsbad. I'm gonna go Carlsbad, and then I'm gonna go Brio Linda, Hart, Pacifica.
Carlsbad, this is the 2nd straight year that they've started out as an intermediate group and then transitioned to advanced mix in the middle of the season. I think that means that you're just good enough to be an advanced mix group the whole season. Carlsbad, I want to welcome you into the advanced mix fold for the entire season next year. But I don't know, man. Give me Pacifica. They were just so strong last year. I know that they have the guts to be an advanced mix group this year. I'm going to take Pacifica, Carlsbad, Hart in 3rd, and then Brea in 4th. However, I think the highest score of the day potentially might come from the intermediate mixed division, where John Burroughs Soundwaves is. And I've never seen John Burroughs Soundwaves live. I wish they would have traveled out to Wheaton. They didn't. However, I might be totally putting my foot in my mouth here, but I think that John Burroughs Soundwaves is probably the pick to win the intermediate mixed division over Golden Valley, Martin Luther King, and Oceanside. I'd say probably Oceanside is my 2 there, and Golden Valley is my 3, and MLK is my 4. But that's a division of 4 very, very solid intermediate groups. And then novice, I expect Esperanza to win. Esperanza is one of those groups where I'm kind of looking at of like, you might be on the cusp of moving up into intermediate. Michael Klein, he's been there for a few years after Mark Myers spent that year at Esperanza. Then other than that, I don't have a solid second. I think any of those other 4 groups between Hearts Prep, Roland, Norco, or Torrance could take second. So that is the juice on Cypress. We will hit the Brandon Show Choir Elite, a competition that one of us has been to, and I'm not going to say which one of us it is, but the lineup for this one: in extra large mix, Northwest Rankin and Jackson Academy; in large mix, Northeast Jones; in middle mix, Burleson, Centennial, and in South Jones; and in small mix, Clinton Christian, Morton, Pass Christian, and Pisgah. In the single gender division, we have 2 groups from Northwest Rankin and Cristo Rey Fort Worth. So no finals at Brandon Elite, but an overall top 5. We've got mixed competitors in all 4 of the Southern mixed divisions. We've got 2 Texas groups, Burleson, Centennial, and Cristo Rey. We've also got Northwest Rankin's men's, which made a surprise finals bid last week and could put them in contention for a top 5 placement this week. Ethan, how do you see everything shaken out at the Brandon Show Choir Elite?
My bad. I had a good time last year. It was such a great event, and this year they're trying to be outside, correct? Again,
I believe so.
Okay,
and I checked the weather, and it looks good.
Good. That was something I definitely missed out on last year. However, first Southern competition in a gym that maybe we know of. I had a blast being there, experiencing that. It did go really, really long. However, when you have to just quickly change plans like that and do your emergency plans, that's going to happen. I definitely expect things to maybe run a little bit smoother and a little bit more on time at Brandon this year. Yeah, this is a great competition. In the end, you do get your placements by your tiers.
Overall.
However, they do sneak in an overall at the end. So this will be a really tough competition. I have Northwest ranking taking it. I feel like this has just been their year. Coming out of a win last week, I just feel like they're going to carry on that momentum to a good win here. I feel like it's going to be a good way to end their season. Second place, I'm kind of iffy on, especially after Northeast Jones missed finals at Biloxi. However, that was like a whole month ago. So this is going to be almost a completely different choir. It almost feels like. So I'm going to take Jackson Encore. However, oh wait, I don't even know what. Oh, I forgot about South Jones down here. I lied. I'm taking South Jones in the second. Very, very strong choir. And then I'm going to go Jackson Academy. Then I'm going to go. Oh, then you throw freaking Texas group in there. I'm going to go Northeast Jones. I'm going to go Gold Horizons in the 4. I believe that's my 4. And then I'm going to go. Oh, I like the choirs in tier 2, or I mean not tier 2, tier 4. I like the choirs in tier 4. However, I'm gonna go with Burleson's Centennial. I know they didn't do so well at South Lake. However, I'm gonna just put a bid out there for the Lone Texas group making the challenge over there, giving them the spots. But however, Pisgah, an amazing choir. Morton, we all know how amazing they are. They don't get they always get talked about. And then Pass Christian, having so many second places this year in their divisions besides one third place. I just feel like that they can make a really, really good run at this. It's gonna be tight. I'm gonna stick with my top 4 because I don't want to go pretty much beyond that. That's gonna be good, and even the Trouble division is gonna be solid. So,
would it be a crime for me to put Northwest ranking groups 1 and 2?
I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't think so. I that's very, very plausible. I just did it out of respect to my mixed groups. Put them in positions to succeed. However, they could even. I mean, one of them could probably even win it.
Because I think the mixed group has it on lock.
But outside though, you don't know. We have no idea how these voices are going to travel.
Here's the thing: when you look at the allure for this season, were they third in the single gender division last week? Yes. Did they lose to the Ambition last week? Yes. Do they not have a division win this year? Yes. But you look at the groups they lost to, and it's Biloxi, and it's Tupelo, and it's Oak Mountain, and that's pretty much it. And none of those other groups are here. And I don't know. Like I think, okay, you know what? But okay, I'm gonna walk myself off that ledge.
No, be right.
Okay, you know what? I took a swing with North Central last week. I'm gonna take a swing this week. And you know what? If you bat 350, you're still in the Hall of Fame. So this is gonna be one of my swings where I probably miss.
Oh yeah.
But I'll go Northwest ranking the Ambassadors at the 1, Northwest ranking the Allure at the 2, Northeast Jones at the 3, South Jones at the 4, and JA at the 5. I am super interested to see how small mixed plays out. This is Pass Christian's final small mixed competition. They'll be moving up into middle mix next season. Morton, I seen Morton's show this year for the first time in my life. Thank you, T-Duff, for uploading that video of Morton. I like Morton. They have a very eclectic mix of music in their show. Hard in My Heart by Quarter Flash, which is one of the 80s songs that I grew up on. My first time ever seeing it on the show choir stage, only second time in recording history, according to showchoir.com. Morton, I'm begging you to upset either CCA or Pisgah or Pass Christian because I like your show. Please do not be snubbed this time around. But we we'll get best of luck to everyone. I think the host exhibition is scheduled for like 8 o'clock, and I wish them the best in getting to that host exhibition at 8 o'clock because it's a Southern comp, and I think we're going to need a little bit of wiggle room there. We're going to go to the Waltham Eastern Show Choir Festival in the large mix division. Lowell Sound Impressions, Marysville Swingers Unlimited, and Tantascwa Encore. This one, Ethan, I think pretty straightforward, right? We'll talk about small mix in a second, but large mix.
Waltham, yeah. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Marysville is going to most likely be the victor here. Yeah, I do think that Lowell versus Tantascwa is going to be interesting. These are two groups that haven't seen second place this year. I don't think either of them have. So, at least one of them is going to come out with a season best runner-up result. I mean, maybe they tie for second place. I'm actually not wishing that would happen. I don't like ties in show choir. But Tanty's best this year is a third, and Lowell's only competed. Well, Lowell's first comp of the year last year or this season was last weekend. So they competed 6 times last year, and they're competing twice this year. Oh, dear. Okay, well, I hope Lowell sticks around. They're still a large mixed group this year. But Tanty has the bigger competition schedule, so I'd say Tantascwa probably has second. But let's take a look at the small mixed division. Bishop Hendrick and Paramount, Lemonster Ignition, Musselman Kaleidoscope, Oliver Ames Panache, Dartmouth Dynamics, Boston Latin Pizzazz, Penwood Primetime, Somerset Berkeley Electrify, Natick West Street Singers. We have 9 groups representing 4 states: Rhode Island, Massachusetts, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. We have Musselman coming off the festival division win at West Virginia States. Penwood in their second show choir competition ever, our yearly Boston Latin appearance. Natick, who picked up Emma Luxembourg as choreographer this year. Bishop Hendricken, who is doing a bowling show this year. We got a 9-group small mix division, and I feel like every single one of them is storylines.
I am so cooked. It's just that time of the year where so much information is in my I'm trying to remember all of it. While you're rambling, I did a quick search of what they did this year just so I can rerun my brain. And they're all these choirs have kind of been all across the board this year. So
welcome to New England Small Mix.
Yeah, this is going to be extremely interesting. I know some I've only performed maybe twice, maybe 3 times. But this is basically the end of the year for them. So it is for majority. It's going to be very interesting to see how this play out, how people want to end their seasons. If I had to give, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm going to just go with names, which I don't feel like is the right way to do it. But something that is just kind of scary to me off rip. Somerset Berkeley, 4th last competition, or actually no placement. But a group like Dartmouth beat them. And if you did, the what's the theory called? If you beat them,
transitive property,
it's all across the board. Because Dartmouth got beat by a handful of these choirs, and it's I don't know. You truly don't know how this was going to go. But yeah, off rip, I thought I was going to run with Somerset Berkeley to begin. I'm probably going to keep it that way. Maybe try to get their get back. I feel like that this is a good opportunity for them to get it. And I know Natick is such a strong choir. Who did they lose to? Shepherd Hill. Where's Shepherd Hill this week? Why are they not here?
Shep, if there's any more room in the schedule, please add in to make this a 10 choir small mix division.
Just make it more chaos. I would love it. I'm going to go Natick at the 1. I know they've only gone to 1 competition. Or no, they went to Tantascwa too. Oh my gosh, and placement unknown. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, you want to look at another New England small mix division. Look at Tanty.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Give me who are the judges? Oh, we don't know. Give me Somerset Berkeley at the 1, Natick at the 2. Oliver Ames at the 3, Dartmouth at the 4. Kaleidoscope at the 5, I know nothing about prime time.
This is their second show choir competition ever. Their first one was this past Saturday.
Oh, you're right. We talked about that a little bit. I think. Maybe we
did. Remember Cole on the show last week?
Yes. Yeah, he mentioned it.
Shout out Virginia. Sorry, we didn't talk about both.
Is solid. They're always kind of solid. My last spot, I'm gonna go with. Boston Latin Pizzazz. Then I'm gonna go Leo Meister and then Paramount. Wait. Paramount got 4th. And then wait. Oh my gosh, I'm so lost. Yeah, I'm cooked. But I'm gonna go Leo Meister then Paramount at the bottom. None of this matters. But if you just wanted a Midwesterner try to scramble through an Eastern middle mix lineup at the end of the year where every transitive property is so messed up, that was it. So
yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, I am going to put Natick as my division winner here. I'll go Somerset in second, Dartmouth in third, Oliver Ames in fourth, Hendricken in fifth, Leominster in sixth, Oliver Ames in seventh. Wait, hold on. I skipped something somewhere. Natick, Somerset, Dartmouth. I guess I'll go Hendricken at the 4.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Leominster at the 5.
Oh, Leominster.
Oliver Ames at the 6. Musselman at the 7. Boston Latin at the 8. And Penwood at the 9. And that will also be unbelievably cooked. Check back next week for how wrong we were. Our final competition of the week, moving on from that debacle, is the Heart of America Orlando. We are just going to talk about the large mixed division here. There's a single gender division and a small mixed division. We only got time to talk about the large mixed division. You've got male sweep. That's all you need to know.
That's all that matters, I guess.
In the large mixed division, Johnston Synergy, Keller Central Voices of Central, Jackson Prep Revion, Olentangy Keynotes, Westside Amazing Technicolor Show Choir, Madison Central Reveille, Los Alamitos Sound Effects, Mount Zion Swingsations, Huntington North Varsity Singers, Johnston Innovation. We do not have 6 finalists here. We do not have 3 finalists like some other HOA Orlando years.
Thank goodness.
We have 5 finalists.
Found some middle ground, I guess.
I think this might be.
Oh, man.
This might be, and I might get killed for saying this. This might be deeper of a lineup than Show Choir National.
No.
This might be.
Take that back.
No.
Take that back. Take that back. Take that back.
You take that back right now.
Take that back. You're not allowed to say that.
I will not take that back. And
Get
I was just at Nationals.
Get off the show. No, you can't say that. No, you can't say that. Basically what Will just said, don't listen to that. That 2018 year was, and yes, I may be biased. Oh, I'm gonna bring it back on. But yeah, I might be biased, but that 2018 year, unbelievable. Maybe if Show Choir Live came back and did this, maybe I would consider.
That would make it a really, really deep lineup.
That would make it extremely.
If Adam and Alex were there.
Yes, I think so. When they were there at 2018, it only magnified the event by times 10 or maybe even 100. Like it was truly like, oh my gosh, everyone's watching type of moment. But yeah, no, this lineup is still very stacked. I don't think it's 2018 stacked, maybe like as Will said, but yet the talent is still all there. I think this is a lot of talent on stage, especially from different parts of the region, or I said region, country. I feel like this is going to be a super, super cool event. If you're able to go. Who doesn't love to be in Orlando this time of the year? You know, hopefully it's sunny and not rainy and all that jazz. But so yeah, this is going to be a fun one. And I think something funny might happen. I haven't seen any videos. I haven't seen anything of Los Alamitos. I kind of like stay away. I don't know why. I just kind of like stay away unless I was able to like see it, because like there was a chance I could have saw this live. So, you know, I kind of just stayed away. Maybe I'll watch a video after this or so. I sadly won't be able to be there. You know, so sad. However, it's I believe it's in the same venue Like, yeah, it's in the same venue, massive auditorium, so much fun. It's almost in a like conference, not conference room, but it's an auditorium. It's huge. It the the homerooms are extremely large and
Did you
very
just say homeroom?
maybe I just name dropped the homeroom.
Homeroom show choir.
Oh my gosh. No, but
Wow.
I'm just so happy to see an HOA lineup like this back. I feel like we needed this as a show choir community. Having a national competition in Orlando of this caliber back on top. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. 5 finalists is gonna be absurd. And there's a lot of storylines here. Some choirs have had very successful seasons. Some are battling back from, some down years. Some have had some spotty seasons. They had success at this comp, but not a lot of success at this comp. Or they got beat by this group who, probably wouldn't beat them or wouldn't think about beating them. But everyone's had failure at one point or another or a mistake. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see. And I don't know what it is, William. I am getting, I don't know what year it was. I'm getting national vibes from, what year was it?
I don't know what year you're thinking of either.
It was the season where Los Alamitos was getting their kind of like their teeth kicked in by California, but then they won at Show Choir Nationals against John Burroughs, I think, or Burbank. And then they went back to California and they proceeded to lose. But like they won
18?
at the biggest competition.
Was that 18?
No.
Or was this later? 23?
It had to be later. Well, I'm gonna research it now.
No, they went undefeated in 23.
Oh my gosh, let me look it up. But
No,
anyway,
it was 22.
no, it's later. It's
No,
later.
wait,
It's later.
what?
It's later. It's like in the tens. It's in the
Oh,
tens.
no, that's earlier then.
Oh, sorry.
I was looking later.
Earlier. Hold
Oh,
on.
dear.
Let me go. Alamitos.
Los Alamitos.
I'm gonna go 2007 and then climb my way up. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that was a good year for them.
Do you want me to just rip off my finals predictions while you
is it
find
2010? Okay, it's 2010.
Okay, all right.
I think. They really didn't get their teeth kicked in, but they won 2 comps. But then
that Los Al got their teeth kicked in during any season.
But at heart, they lost to Burbank and John Burroughs. That was the first time they went up against any of the big 3. Yes, I was correct. So, but then they traveled all the way to Tennessee, and they ended up winning with best choreography and best overall effect, beating Burbank, who they just lost to, who won best vocals. Talk about another stacked competition. Nationals has really been doing it for that long. But yeah, I kind of see the same thing happening here. It's going to be really tough to go against Johnson Vocals, who literally beat Linmar. However, if Los Alamitos can do what they did at 2010 Nationals, where they won the best choreography caption and they won the best overall effect caption, I think that they can win at this competition. I don't know. Those are just kind of the shades that I have going into this. They have experience on the stage before. It's been a while, but in a new regime. So actually, you might want to throw that out the window. But they still have name brand recognition there, and it's going to be a great panel. I just don't know them yet. So it's going to be a great event. I'm going to go with Los Alamitos, maybe just to be, even though I hate saying that's the edgy pick because it's still Los Alamitos, but I feel like it kind of is. I don't know. So I'm going to roll with Los Alamitos with best choreography and best overall effect or show design. I'm going to go Johnson in the 2 with vocals. In the 3, it's hard to look away from West Side in the year that they're having. So I'm going to roll with them. It's hard to beat Stephen Todd choreography, especially when it's done right, like Westfield has done for years.
Westfield.
Oh my goodness. This is when the show's gone long. West Side. West Side's been doing for years. The 4 and the 5, I know it's. I don't actually. I shouldn't say I know. I should never say I know. I think it's gonna be Keller Central and Mount Zion. I just can't place them. I just can't place them, and especially with my bias, I would probably say Mount Zion in the 4, VOC in the 5. However, I know VOC has done some great things this year, and I know that definitely can be flipped. And Olentangy can definitely make a run at this. You know, they're a choir who is in a stacked Ohio scene. They've seen all the competition this year, very up and down. So I it really depends on their show on the day. So, however, they are definitely capable of getting a final spot here. And then, you know, that leaves out Johnson Synergy, who can definitely make a run. Jackson Prep, who they had a great show last year. I enjoyed watching it last year. So much fun on stage. Well, how are they doing this year? They got a first in tier 3, and then they got a fourth runner up or a third runner up at Madison, losing to Biloxi. Hamilton, shout out George Walker, and Northwest Rankin, who should have a good outing this week. And then Huntington North, who is in Indiana, and they can sing their butts off. And you know, that kind of scares me in the sense of what just happened at Nationals. Like what just happened at Nationals was a group who could sing very, very well, and not a lot of people kind of thought that they would, you know, not be top. A lot of people didn't think they'd be top 2. I know some people even kind of left them out of finals. However, they can sing, and so they can definitely make a run for one of those last final spots. It's truly judges' preference. It's going to be great. Making finals here is one of those things where you know, it's like, congratulations, you had a small victory. I know you want to win the whole thing, but it's a small victory just to make finals, and definitely deserves to be celebrated. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a crazy pick, quote unquote crazy. I'm going to go Los Alamitos at the 1. No sweep, best choreography, and best overall effects / show design. And Johnson at the 2 was best vocals.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I can really add there. Like, you just look at every single group, and it's like Keller Central event grand champ this year, Olentangy event grand champ this year, Westside event grand champ this year, even like Huntington North event grand champ this year, Johnson Synergy prep group, but consistent finals contender, like Madison Central also consistent finals contender. Like, I do, yeah. Okay. I'm also going to go Los Al at the 1.
Ooh.
I'll also give him choreo. I'll go Johnson at the 2 with vocals.
I don't like this. No, switch it. I don't like this.
No.
I'll switch it, baby.
I have a backbone, and I refuse to cave to what you tell me to do. I'm not going to do that.
I don't like that we're the same. I don't like it.
Give me Westside at the 3, Mount Zion at the 4, and Madison Central at the 5.
Ooh, I like it. I like that we switched something up.
With that being said,
oh my goodness,
we'll be back here next week, Tuesday.
Show
Same
50.
time, same place.
Show 50.
Show 50 is in the books. We are halfway to the century mark. Still a lot of show choir left this season to go. We will be seeing how cooked our Waltham small mixed predictions are. We'll be seeing if either of us correctly predicted the Cypress winner. We will see how wrong our HOA Orlando predictions are.
No doubt.
We will have an update on Show Choir Madness. And we will have so much more. Thank you all for sticking around. If you stuck around for the entire hour 19, bless your heart. Because I just spent the weekend in Nashville, and that's a Southern phrase. That's the joke. However, if you are watching Show Choir this weekend, have a blast. If you are performing in Show Choir this weekend, break a leg. For Ethan, I'm William. Have a great Show Choir weekend. We will see you next week, Tuesday.